All right, good day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me on this brand new episode of your favorite political talk show, The Truth with Ben Jokes. Now, snatching and grabbing power is one thing, but knowing what to do with power is quite another. APC has sworn not to free Nigeria from the stranglehold and the bondage that they have her in. But in the aspect of governance, they are running the country down to a bottomless pit. Oshomole, INEC, and other APC crooks rode on the back of few empty-headed people of Edo State, including the Oba of Benin, to rig the Edo State elections. But watch it, 6 months after swearing in that APC man, Monday Okwebelo, the people of Edo State will begin receiving the worst treatment of their lives. Because the APC have come to steal, to kill, and to destroy. And only a revolution can save this country now. The educational sector is almost grounded. The economy is in comatose. The health sector is drowning. And Tinubu came out to say that what happened in Edo State is proof that he has the go-ahead of Nigerians to continue with his punishment that he calls reforms. And while some paid journalists, while some paid journalists were still trying to back the reforms, SHETTIMA went to the United Nations General Assembly to disgrace Tinubu and the entire Nigeria. Many Nigerians thought that in SHETTIMA's UN speech, he would begin to boast about Tinubu's economic reforms, but instead, he began to beg other world leaders to come to Nigeria's rescue. So what you call reforms that you are trying to paint as something reasonable, SHETTIMA is now begging other world leaders to come to the rescue. You have grabbed power. You ignored all the warnings of experts against disastrous policies. Now the country is collapsing and you are begging other world leaders. And just as Nigerians were reacting to SHETTIMA's disgraceful utterances at the United Nations General Assembly, another bomb dropped. This time around, it came from the Nigerian army. In the last 2 weeks, the Nigerian media has been inundated with news of the Nigerian army destroying bandits. But we suspected it was mostly propaganda, just to create a false narrative that the government was doing well. And few hours ago, that was confirmed. How? The chief of army staff came out and said the army is not equipped enough to protect Nigerians. The same people who you say they have conquered insurgency are now coming out to say, no, we are not equipped enough to protect Nigerians. Under 24 hours, SHETTIMA is in a faraway land begging other world leaders for help. And the chief of army staff is at home here telling Nigerians that they cannot be protected. What a disaster. Before I show you details of these updates and how Nigerians reacted, let me quickly show you this interesting video.
Will you say Buhari is a better Democrat than President Tinubu after these last Edo elections? That's number one.
Absolutely.
So Buhari is way better than President Tinubu. Okay,
I didn't vote for Buhari, though an APC I didn't vote for
him.
Would
you say Buhari is your hero over Tinubu because he's better Democrat, right? Secondly, since you've answered that.
He's not my hero.
Okay, but he's a better Democrat than Tinubu, right? He's a better Democrat than Tinubu. Okay.
Well, I still, to this minute, want to believe that the president have no hand in this. That is why I'm encouraging Aswe Gudalo and the PDP to go to court.
Mr. Dige, there's no need for delusion in the country. There's nothing that happens in the country that the president doesn't know about. So all of this definitely is well aware. He's read the papers. He's got security reports, so he knows what's going on. Let's stop deluding ourselves.
Yes.
Most importantly, let me talk about, because I care so much about you, my brother. Let me talk about your political future. Are you going to go back to the APC now? Because you reneged against the APC, you said all sorts. In fact, you even went ahead to say...
Hell no.
Wait, you went ahead to say... No, wait, you went ahead to say Okpebolo doesn't have a degree. But yesterday when I saw his resume being real, that they said he has a master's from University of Abuja and he has a first degree from University of Abuja. So you said all the things against the APC. Because I know politicians. You can't last long.
Can I clear that?
I know you clear all of that. You can't last long being in opposition in a PDP that's not in power. At some point, you have to go back to the APC because they are your first love in the first place before you left them. So aren't you going to go back to them at some point?
I will not go back to my vomit.
Okay. Okay,
Straight to five.
Yeah, go ahead. Finish your point, yeah.
I, Prince Emmanuel Odigye, I am in politics to create a difference, to contribute to nation building, to help ensure that the best of the best leads us. I am not in politics for my personal interest. I'm not in politics for my personal gains. I'm in politics to support the best of the best, to see how we can take Edo and Nigeria to become a first world economy. If anybody tells you, Rachel 5, that any Edo man will travel on the impassable federal road to Edo North and cast their vote for the APC, they lie. If anybody in Edo would queue to buy fuel at 1,200 naira, to buy a loaf of bread at 2,000 instead of 400, and vote for APC, they lie. If anybody would buy a bag of rice at 95,000, a bag of beans for 230,000, a crate of egg for 8,000 naira, and vote for APC, they lie. If anybody tells you the teachers that Obaseki just increased their salaries with 80% increment will go to the ballot and vote for APC, they lied. If they tell you a pensioner that receives his pension at 25th of every month without delay, they lie. If they tell you any civil servant, those that works in the local government, that is receiving 70%, 70,000 minimum wage, would go out there and cast their vote for APC, they lie. This is a blatant rape. This is a murder.
You're not going back to the APC again, Dr.
Batu. If we cannot achieve change through the polls, how then can we achieve true change in Nigeria?
You heard that. That was Emmanuel Odigye, the DDG of PDP's campaign in Edo State. Well, I think the answer to his last question in that video is very simple. He said, if we cannot achieve change at the polls, how then can we achieve this change? Well, only a revolution could bring the needed change in this country. I keep saying this. The APC politicians and bigwigs have never showed up at any polling unit to rig elections, to carry ballot box or buy votes. They pay Nigerians like you and I to do it. Monday Okpebolo, the governor-elect now, the fake governor-elect now in Edo State, was received by the Oba of Benin. He was warmly received by the Oba of Benin. The man praising him that he believes that a governor that will show respect for traditional rulers has finally emerged. Imagine what he is concerned about. Respect for traditional rulers. APC is destroying the country. You are supporting APC to emerge so that they can respect you and give you money. You can imagine what an old man was concerned about. Not even the destiny of the people. So until they begin attacking human beings like that, this change we are looking for will not come. If with his ancestral stool, he cannot respect the people's wish, then what is he doing there? And they talk about INEC officials that change the results. They are people like you and I. They live amongst us. So until we begin attacking these Nigerians that help them to rig, the change we desire will not come. The INEC officials that are used to change results live amongst us. Ordinary Nigerians who are bearing the brunt of bad leadership should begin to show up at the doorsteps of these INEC officials. For receiving Monday Ekpobolo and saying that nonsense, there should be a protest at the palace of the Oba of Benin. The people should protest heavily against him and cut down his wings for putting his own interest, ahead of that of the state. This is time for action, not talk. Now, let's look at those updates that shocked Nigerians. The first one is Shettima begging other world leaders at the United Nations General Assembly to help Nigeria's abject indebtedness and general messy financial situation. Then next, the Chief of Army Staff crying over the Army's inadequacy to protect Nigerians. Let's begin with the updates on Shettima. Look at how the papers reported it. Shettima begs world leaders at United Nations Assembly to lift debt burden on Nigeria, other developing nations. Reporters. Kashim Shettima, who is standing in for Bola Tinubu at the 79th United Nations General Assembly in New York, has urged global leaders to prioritize debt forgiveness for Nigeria and other developing nations. He made the call during the general debate at the 79th United Nations General Assembly in New York, the United States. Addressing world leaders, Shettima emphasized that the economic development of the global south remains hampered by crippling debt, which undermines the ability of nations to meet needs of their citizens. He urged the United Nations to commit to multilateralism by fostering inclusivity, equality, and deeper cooperation among member states. In a statement from Stanley Nkocha, the senior special assistant to Tinubu on media and communications, the Nigerian presidency also addressed trade barriers, protectionist policies, and fierce competition that threaten global investments. Countries of the global south cannot make meaningful economic progress without special concessions and a review of their current debt burden, he stated. What a shame. When these guys took over and they began taking loans every Eke market day, we warned. Now, after embezzling all the money, they are asking to be forgiven, knowing fully well that they cannot pay back. And there are still other loans in the pipeline. Oh. The billions of naira they want to take as loan from World Bank, that one I believe is dropping before the end of this month or first week of next month. They are not aborting the mission. But you are going to United Nations General Assembly to beg them to forgive you. Meanwhile, all the monies you've taken, you embezzle them. You, Shettima, you live in a mansion worth 21 billion and you are asking other leaders who live modest lives to let go of the money that you owe them. This degree of delusion is shocking and exasperating at the same time. Your Oga bought a 5 billion naira yacht, 150 billion naira private jet. But you want other leaders that are preserving their own monies, that are spending the monies of their countries wisely for their people, to forgive you, to let go of the money they loaned you. What sense does this make? And look at how Nigerians reacted. Let's take some of the tweet reactions. And this tweet here by Mohammed Saad says, with official bat steering the ship of our country, I almost believed Shettima would address the United Nations Assembly on the bold economic measures so far taken, the successes and the plans for the next 5 years, and advise other developing countries to copy from our success story. But to go there and beg is simply a confession by the Tinubu administration that Nigeria presently has no hope. This is sad. I am pained. That is it. They can tell you all the lies here in Nigeria. Oh, the economy is picking up. Oh, everything is looking good. We are seeing positives. But now where it matters most, he is begging because he has seen that everything is crumbling. And this tweet here says, Tinubu is utterly shameless. You borrow money recklessly, and now you are asking other countries to forgive our debts, borrow and squander, then expect debt forgiveness, as if Nigeria is a poor country. It is because of actions like these that our passport is weak and Nigeria lacks global respect. Such behavior only tarnishes our nation's image. That is it. And Tijani Aliyu here says, you should also tell them that the money is looted by APC administration while Nigerians are dying of hunger. They don't need to be told. They know that already. And this tweet by Bamiro Ladakpo Aziz says, at UN, the VP's mansion was recently renovated with 21 billion naira at the expense of the suffering citizens. Do whatever you want to do with this information above. Then he tagged the UN and the World Bank. Well, there is no better way to tell them not to accede to that request. Now, let us take that update coming from the Chief of Army Staff. This time around, the Chief of Army Staff, Taoreed Lagbaja, is telling Nigerians that the army is not equipped enough to protect Nigerians. Look at how the papers reported it. Nigeria's army chief says securing over 200 million citizens with just 2 million security agents is unrealistic. Nigeria's Chief of Army Staff, COAS, Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja, has lamented the extreme shortage of security personnel, inadequate funding, and their effects on the security situation in the country. The Army Chief said that it is unrealistic to secure over 200 million Nigerians with 2 million security agents, out of whom a little over 100,000 are active soldiers of the Nigerian Army without any reserved forces. Lagbaja said this while speaking at the 2024 Distinguished Personality Lecture titled "The Roles and Contributions of the Nigerian Army to National Development," jointly organized by the Center for Peace and Strategic Studies, University of Ilorin, and the Martin Luther Agwai International Leadership and Peacekeeping Center, JAGI. Lagbaja stressed, in a country with over 200 million people, it is unrealistic for security agencies totaling around 2 million, including an army of just over 100,000 active personnel without a reserve force, to secure the entire population. The significant gap in resources is being exploited by criminal elements. To address this issue, it is crucial to invest in expanding and strengthening security forces, ensuring they have adequate personnel and resources. Also, according to Lagbaja, inadequate funding affects the level of equipment held by the armed forces of Nigeria, hence having a direct impact on performance of the military. Wow, what a revelation. And this is coming after 2 weeks of the media making Nigerians to believe that everything is going well, making Nigerians to feel safe. Today they will come out and say, oh, they have captured this kidnapper. Tomorrow they say they have destroyed this bandit camp. And now the Chief of Army Staff is coming to tell us that they are poorly equipped, that the funding is poor, everything is poor, and it is affecting their performances. So it is propaganda, just as we suspected. Instead of these guys to get to work and do the needful, even if you were the ones that brought these terrorists, will you allow them to burn your country down? And this is what we keep telling Nigerians. These people don't love this country in the least. The Chief of Army Staff is coming out to lay it bare now. Before they will call him a failure, sack him and put the whole blame on him. He is saying that the organization is not properly funded. And they don't even have enough manpower, because so many soldiers have been deployed to irrelevant places for political reasons. And look at how Nigerians reacted. Let's take a few tweet reactions. This tweet here by Oseni Olumide says, the more reason why responsible citizens with decent source of income should be issued licenses for self-defense purposes, as government can't afford the cost of engaging more personnel. We can't put all our eggs in a basket as regards security. This is the argument that those who are clamoring for Nigerians to start holding guns have. Because if the Chief of Army Staff can come out clearly and say that they cannot protect the people, then why won't you let the people protect themselves? It's as simple as that. And Victor here says, look at the number of security details the politicians have and wonder why you are having that type of problem. Anyway, that should be the least of your problems. You will see one senator moving about with 25 policemen. So why won't there be shortage? And Adebayo Austin here says, I thought Tinubu said he will recruit 50 million youths. What else are you waiting for? Directive, that is it. Adebayo Austin is mocking them there. During the campaign, Tinubu said, recruit 50 million youths, and he thought that it was just easy to do things like that. If not even a demented Nigerian youth who would join the army at this point. And this tweet here by Shaibu says, when they are ready, they will tell us. If the whole backbone of the country is coming out to tell us that they can't secure us, then there is a big problem. That is it. And it's not if. He has come out to say it. He said they can't secure Nigerians. That it does not make sense for you to even ask them to properly secure Nigerians. That's what he's saying. And this tweet here says, how can an army chief be talking about numbers in a country that attaches over 130,000 security personnel to politicians, while 13,000 are deployed to combat banditry? Let him tell us how the 2 million personnel are deployed. That is it. They are not properly deployed for political reasons. But who are the people at the receiving ends? It is the common man. And that is why I keep saying that only the common man can rescue himself. Only common Nigerians can come together and rescue themselves. There is no going back for the APC. This is how they will continue to destroy this country until the people are able to say no, enough is enough. People have started talking about the fearless protest, which is coming up on the 1st of October. We can't stop talking about it because there is no way out. As far as you are still living in this country, protest, revolution is the only way that Nigerians can save themselves. That is why we have to keep encouraging Nigerians to cast aside their differences and come together to rescue this country. But until then, make I still enter town. Make I go get some ogbonge political news wey una go like. Why? Because of una. Now I dey here, so don't go away. Away.